But yeah, it was a play where the bigs set a ton of screens, so all the bigs were, it was rough. It was a rough play, especially in the summer. So, but nah, it translated really well offensive rebounding wise.
Nate, did any of your coaches or teammates have any particular message to you to kind of light that fire in you for that second half?
No, I think it was just more kind of me being frustrated with myself and kind of the effort I was putting forward. You started to see, I got the offensive rebound in the second half, and I, got a put back, and Coach Barnes and everybody has been stressing to me that's how you get easy buckets, and I'm 6'9", and usually have a guard defending me, so I can, take advantage of that all the time, and that's what I've kind of been struggling with to do, and I'm trying to do more of that.
Nate, you kind of went down hard in the first half, and then there was a little scrum after that, and Jalen kind of got in the middle of that. And then the second half, same thing happened again with Bishop. Just what do you see from Jalen getting in the middle of that, standing up for you guys?
Yeah, man, that's our bodyguard. That's our team bodyguard right there. He likes to get in fights and stuff like that, so it is what it is. Nah, I'm just joking. But, yeah, he's like our enforcer. To know, like, someone like that is going to have my back, it's incredible. He broke my wrist in the summer. I tried to dunk on him, and so that's a whole different story. But he's our enforcer, and I know he got my back all the time.
Nate, in the back, over the last couple of weeks, Vol fans have been continually using the statement that Nate's growing up in front of our eyes. Do you kind of feel like this season has been a lot of growth for you in just the term? I know you said you're playing your best basketball right now, but where do you see yourself in the sense of just, you're growing up in this season?
Yeah, I think, like you said, like you spoke on just my, growing up basketball-wise, but also just a sense of maturity, kind of like that next play shot mentality, but that also translates to life in a real way. Like, things may happen, but you can't focus on, what just happened. You got to move on, move forward, and that's what kind of been my mindset. I had a rough first half, and so I got to just focus on what I can do to help this team win, and that's kind of been helping me grow, just mature as a young man.
Ryan, Mike, Paige, Ben.
I guess for both of you guys, is it crazy how much Bishop gets hit in the face? And I guess what does it say about his toughness that he gets back up and is ready for it next time?
Yeah, nah, he got like a magnet under his face or something. He be getting hit in the face all the time, but that guy's so tough, man. He's so tenacious, and to see him get hit in the face, get back up, complain to the refs and stuff like that, just like kind of lights a fire under me. And these past couple of weeks, he's been getting on me a lot, especially on the defensive end. He challenged me every day in practice to get better, and someone like him is a big reason why you're seeing me, grow so much on the court right now.
You gonna answer that?
Huh? Oh, nah, Bishop's a dog. I mean, that's all I'd say. He's a dog. I mean, you see it every night. He's an animal. He's an animal.
Nate, when you came off the court, Coach Barnes had a pretty big smile on his face. What was that like for you to see that look from him? And had you seen that look previously since you've been here?
It's it's a very rare look for him to give anybody, to be honest. But you can just see he was proud of me. And me and him have been through a lot together. In terms of me talking to him and stuff like that, just talking about how much I was putting pressure on myself and stuff like that. And he's been helping me in so many ways, not just with my basketball game, but also like off the court and mentally and stuff like that. So I think he was just kind of proud of me to have that type of performance. So yeah, he's always happy for me and our whole team when we're playing well.
JP, Nate has talked a lot about taking the pressure off of him and just continuing to grow. From your perspective, what has that been like, seeing him go from, that new kid to kind of now really coming into his own? How special has that transition been?
Nah, it's been amazing. Just seeing it, just translating every day in practice and then doing it in the games has been amazing. Coach Barnes has really been talking about it, how he's really started to see the game, which I've been seeing him. Just flashing like these games where they switch a lot. He's done a great job of getting to the middle and getting to his spots. It's just been amazing. And it's good. It's great for us because when he's going, it gets us going. And we need that out of him. As you see, like nights like these are huge for him, and we needed that every single night out of him.
For both of you guys, just what needs to be different this Saturday? I don't think that we'll speak to either of you before Saturday, so what kind of sticks out when you think about that loss to Kentucky a couple of weeks ago, and what needs to be different this weekend?
Yeah, no, we need to. We're gonna make sure we're super excited about it, ready to go on a Rupp and have a fun time. We're we're just really excited. We're going to bring more toughness. That's what we're really going to harp on, I believe. Defensively, continue to do what we've been doing, and really just focusing on the little details of that game and making sure we don't make the same mistakes that we did last time.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of said it. They were just tougher than us, especially in that second half. And credit to them, they bounced back, a lot in the second half. And you see the last couple of games they've been doing it. So, I mean, for us, it's kind of just like the tale of two halves, finishing the whole game. We got to play a full 40 minutes against them, or else they're going to come to play and beat us.
Last two questions.
For JP, I think it was after the Georgia game, Coach Barnes said, around this time of year is when good teams start to separate. You guys have won 4 in a row now. Do you feel like the team is starting to separate from the rest of the conference?
I mean, we still got a lot we got to do. We've obviously been through our ups and downs. We've been really harping on trying to continue to keep this streak going, because once it comes to March Madness time, you got to have that streak the whole time. You got to win 6 games in a row. And I mean, if that doesn't happen, then obviously you know the outcome. So I mean, just continue to keep building and continue to keep translating what we do in practice to the games. And if we keep doing that, I think we're going to be A-okay and continue to keep this streak alive.
Nate, you mentioned it a moment ago talking about Bishop and how much he's kind of been in your ear, especially during game time. How would you describe how valuable that has been for you, whether it's your confidence or your comfortability on the court to just coming into your own?
Yeah, I mean, it starts in practice, and every day he's on me to get better, regardless of the performance I just had, or if it's good or bad or not. And then it translates into the game. If he sees me kind of not giving the effort I need to give, he'll get on me right away. And to have someone that's getting on you when you're not playing well, and someone that's encouraging you when you are and telling you to kind of take over the game and kind of just keep going, that means a lot. And it's like that with all my teammates. They're always encouraging me, and it makes my job so much easier when I have my teammates believing in me, my coaches believing in me. So it just makes a world of difference.
Sweet.
You know the pain?
I don't think at that moment.
I thought you were
The claim looked very specific.
All right, got Tennessee head coach Rick Barnes here. We're ready for questions. Please raise your hand and wait for a microphone. Start with Grant and Jack.
Rick, you've seen some pretty good second halves from Nate the last few weeks. What's tonight like for him? What's for a young guy to not slow down after a slow first half?
Well, he's playing against a terrific defensive team, a team that believes in, physicality, a team that's not going to let you get what you want without a fight. We knew early we sort of kind of had to feel what they would do in terms of trying to double him. We're trying to get Nate to his sweet spots where he could go with it. And so, I mean, it was a physical game to start with. I think what he has done, I've said all year, I really don't care what anybody else says. I wouldn't trade Nate for anybody in the country because I think he's been good all year. I knew it would take him some time to figure out the physicality part of it, like any freshman, to add to his game. And but for him to do what he did, I mean, he earns it. If you were here yesterday at practice, he's the last guy to leave. But it's the way he's doing it. I mentioned, I think this week, that the game has slowed down for him. He's starting to see it differently. Like, he made a really good play to Jalen early. They came with a quick double and got it to Jalen right there at the foul line. He's really seeing the court. He loves to pass it. He's a really terrific passer. But I think the biggest thing is he settled in really prior to going to Florida, where you could tell he was pressing and maybe a little bit disappointed. And I told him prior to that game, you got nothing to be disappointed about. You're trending in the right direction. Just play one play at a time and get on to the next one. And since that game, Florida, he is just a totally different person mentally, the way he has approached the game and sees it. And so that second half was something that I think if you go back to the time that we started recruiting him, that none of us would really be surprised by it.
Coach, your team had a stretch to end the first half, 1 for 12, the last 6 or so minutes. Second half, you guys go 17 for 31. What changed about the shot selection? What did you like about the shot selection in that second half?
Well, early, we missed a lot of shots at the rim that we got to make some of those, or get fouled, either one. And it seemed like even when we were missing those shots, and they're a good defensive team. They don't foul, but they do a really good job of, they body up. You're allowed to do that in there, and they stay down and don't give you much room. So you really have to score the ball before you get it against them, or it's difficult because they close so fast, and they're a heavy gap team, and they attack the ball. But then the missed free throws were there, I thought, defensively. And again, they do it. Chris does a great job of isolation. He's the number one isolation team in the country, and getting his guys where he wants them to go. And then probably the biggest thing, second half, we probably stayed in the middle of the third more and tried to play from there a little bit more because they're such a good help team. And we told our guys before the game we didn't want to spend a lot of time driving the baseline because we know what they do with their defense that way. But started making some shots, which always changes the game.
Mike, Ryan,
Rick, JP mentioned a play you guys used tonight for Nate that you'd use for Dalton sometimes against Auburn a couple years ago. Was that the old J.J. Redick play, or what was that play?
It's a very sophisticated play. We put 3 guys to get them open.
3 in the quarter, have to go around.
We call it bunch. Just bunch up and get them open. It's really, yeah. And we did it one second time. I mean, you'd think you could never mess that play up, but we didn't get the space in the second time. And so I'll have fun with that when we get back together.
How often do you use that with Nate this week?
Today.
First time?
I could tell. I saw it in his eyes. I said, I could see he was in it. I could just see where he was locked in, and made up our mind we're going to get him involved as much as we could there, and he did a great job. He did.
Have you seen that look in Nate's eyes at any point in the season?
I have. I see it every day in practice. Where he. I mean, Nate's he's special now, just in so many different ways. And coaches are always going to talk about great teammates, and he is a great teammate. I mean, one of the most unselfish people I've ever been around. There's so much more to him than basketball. I mean, he wants to be great at it, but it's not what it identifies him. That's not. There's so much more to Nate, and so yeah, I'm happy for him because I know how much he wants to. He doesn't want to let anybody down. He doesn't. And one of our talks, I told him, you're never going to let anybody down because you stand for so many of the right things that we all want. But tonight was a really physical game, and I thought he came back the second half and handled. And again, we're physical. He sees it every day, but they're unbelievably well-coached team, and they make it hard on everybody.
Rick, we keep asking you about Bishop and him stuffing the stat sheet. Did you think that he would have this overall effect on your team this early in his career, or maybe shorten the bridge from Jemai? I know he draws a lot of Jemai comparisons, but picking up on that role on your team this quickly?
Well, when we recruited him, we told him he had to do it because we knew what we were losing. We knew we were losing some heavyweights, and especially defensively, guys that are just tough, hard-nosed, everyday guys that highly competitive. And so, we knew when he came in as a freshman, we wanted him to get some minutes. And to be honest with you, it didn't come as quickly as we had hoped for him. But to his credit, he kept working, kept winning. One thing that probably helped him as much as anything last year, he had to spend a lot of time in practice at the point, guarding Zakai a lot. And but we knew, and no one worked harder than Bishop when the season was over with. I mean, I can't imagine anybody in the country putting in more time than he does. And I'm not just talking. He watches film every day. He watches every clip he has in practice. And like I said to you before, he works so hard on defense, he has a hard time slowing down on offense. He's just so wired to compete at a high level. And then when you switch to the other end, you've got to get a little calmness about you. And he's not there yet, but he's getting closer. But to answer your question, when we recruited him, we needed him to do what he's doing right now. And did we think he's almost leading the team in rebounding. I mean, I think in league play, he's right around 7 rebounds a game, I think. 6, 7 rebounds, which I think is back-to-back to 8 games. And he gets hit on every play because he's going to be on the best offensive player, and the team you're playing is going to do everything they can to get their guys open. And so some way, somehow, he's in some kind of collision, it seems like, every play, which is he can take it.
Yeah, Coach, building off of that point back here, with with Bishop and Nate battling the physicality tonight, getting knocked down a lot, how much do you maybe enjoy the fighting spirit that they have to get back up, to focus on the next play and really push through that physicality?
Well, again, it is what it is. I mean, tonight you had a great crew on the game, and again, unbelievable respect for Chris Beard and the way, I mean, we're very similar in a lot of things that we do. And I would imagine that, again, we told him straight up the physicality, and it's going to be a grind. You go back and look, Ole Miss has been in every game they've played. They have a way, they grind it, they can get you in a possession game, and again, they lead the country in playing out of isolations, and they make some tough shots, but they're shots that they practice, shots that they work on, and at some point in time, not just offensively is it physical, but it's defensively, because they screen, they do a lot of really good things offensively, where they're going to, again, physicality is the only word you can use.
Coach Beard described Nate's shot as unblockable and compared it to some of your past guys like KD and LaMarcus Aldridge. What goes into building an unblockable jump shot, and how has Nate's shot developed since he got here?
Well, it took us a long time to get him to understand if he gets it up over his head, that's a weapon for us. And I've told him that. I said, man, this is a weapon. But you got to get to your spot. If you go dribble, you're not going to get there. Because a lot of times he's playing against smaller players. I think he asked any tall guy, they would say they'd love to play against light size. They don't like playing against small guys because those small guys get up and under and make it really hard. He would tell you that probably Amari Evans has helped him as much as anybody, because you guys watch some of the preseason practices. I mean, Amari's in there beating him up, and Nate's wanting him to, because that's all. Nate had never gone through any type of preseason like that, and but he's learning the difference with his different matchups when he's got a guard like size or someone in between, what he needs to do. And again, it goes back to seeing the game differently than he was, because he was just playing at one speed with everything and not really seeing the court, not understanding where to attack and his space and those type things.
Coach, you just mentioned just now that Ole Miss has really been in most of the, if not all their games that they've been in, I remember after the Georgia game, you said that this is around the time that teams start to separate. Is that what separating looks like, for you, for being able to blow out a team that has been in every game?
Well, I don't think the score is indicative of how close that game was. I really don't. I mean, we got going there a little bit, but it was a really hard fought game. And again, I look at the score and we got up on them, and obviously, but yeah, this time of year, it's simply about getting better. I mean, if you and we talk about complacency and all the time, because I see it with our guys. I've seen it with many teams. I mean, it's just easy to get comfortable, and we're not in a position to be comfortable. And right now, we're fighting like everybody else to get to the postseason and fighting to get better every day. You take none of it for granted, and I really appreciate the effort that our coaches put into the guys that maybe don't play as much, because we're going to need those guys. I mean, what they help us with in practice every day is invaluable, but they're going to help us. Like, we didn't know the thing with Felix. We had no idea about that. Then Mo, we get a call that he's got the flu this morning. We didn't know that. And so as coaches, we spend a lot of time with the guys that you might not think, like I thought Troy and Clarence and Ethan. Those guys are important. And I do think at some point in time this year that they're going to be needed in a big way.
Rick, in a game that's that kind of physical and that emotional at times, what's the secret as a player to kind of keeping that, between the whistles? And you played the game before you were a coach, obviously. How do you keep from boiling over in a game like that as a player?
Well, it's hard, but you embrace it, because, I think you embrace pressure. I think you embrace competition. I think you got to embrace the ups and downs, but it's competition. It's a competitive spirit that you've got to have, because it's not always going to go your way. And I think the key, how do you handle it? You got to let go of the last play and get on to the next play. And then when you get some emotion tied up in it, how quickly can you turn that loose and get focused? Okay, what's next? And it's hard. It is hard, because we're still dealing with young people. But I don't have a problem with the emotion, but I don't want it to boil over, because the first thing you've got to learn to do is not beat yourself, both physically and mentally. And so when that happens, it's a matter of getting settled down and on to the next play.
Coach, in the back, obviously it was an interesting game for Jacoby, finishing with 5 made baskets. All those were three-pointers. He wasn't necessarily getting his shots to fall at the rim. At the beginning of the year, a lot of people said Jacoby's option 1A, and it'll be nice if Nate can kind of move up to being, that secondary or kind of equal. But do you feel like the team can be even better if Nate is the primary scoring option and Jacoby is, kind of the sidekick in that sense?
Well, I think we'll be better if we're a balanced team and we just make the right basketball play. That's what I think is the key, because we think we've got 5 guys on the floor every time that can score the ball if they take the shots that they practice and do what they need to do. But then you get in games like tonight, they were going to be really content with certain guys as the season goes on. They're going to play analytics, and, early they were content to let us have on the backside. We were in the high low to have that game. Bishop had it over there. And, we tell those guys, when you're feeling it, you got to shoot it, but, we're not going to wait until you make a 3. And, what are your options when they're trying to bait you into shooting it early in the clock? What might it be? So we want our guys to do what they do well, but we want 5 options. We really do. And early in the year, it was way too much. I mean, I think what helped us as much as anything during the off week, we made Jacoby not practice. One day we didn't do much. The next day we didn't let him practice. Once we got 5-on-5, to make sure these guys understood how we could still be effective without him on the court. And I think it helped him more than anybody, because he's tried, like tonight now, you said it, he missed 2 point-blank layups to start the game. And he's so much more. He's got a great mid-range game that he hasn't shown consistently enough this year. Obviously, he can shoot the deep ball. Normally, a pretty good finisher at the rim, but once people will come to respect that he will pull up, it's going to help him even more. And but we're going to play through who's getting it done. And that's where guys, the unselfishness comes in with this team. I mean, I think they found out tonight Nate got it cooking a little bit, and they were willing to turn the burner up for him and let him get it. And I think that's a sign of a good team when they start seeing that, when everybody starts seeing that.
Grant, Elijah, Ryan, that's it.
Rick, is there any idea with a timeline for Felix? Is this going to be a long-term thing or more
Chad told me
short-term?
today he was feeling better today. That's all I asked him today. I said, how's he feeling? He said he thought he'd making a little progress today, but whether or not, I can't tell you when, but that's the honest answer, because that's what Chad told me right before the game. When I bumped into Chad, I said, how's Fee doing? And he said he's had a good day today.
Coach, after the Kentucky game, it seemed like the team came back and wanted to finish games, and they were doing really good, especially tonight. As you can see in the second half, they poured it on. Do you feel like this second round coming against Kentucky, they're going to put out a show, like, do their best, or do you feel like it's...
I don't know about that. I just know this: if we don't play hard for 40 minutes, we shouldn't even drive up there, because Mark's done a really terrific job with his group, and they just took us apart in the second half. They did whatever they had their way, and if we're not going to compete harder than that, one, you don't deserve to win, but they came in and we got them down. But again, a good team, not a big deal in the first half, and they just completely controlled the second half and deserved to win the game. It was a tough one, because we didn't. Again, if you're not going to compete for 40 minutes, you don't deserve to win. And so again, we'll start working on them when we get back Thursday. But we'll have to be better, a lot better. I can say that.
A couple of different times tonight, Jalen kind of defending Nate and then Bishop when they took hits. Do you like that? Do you want him to tone that down?
I don't mind it, but I don't want him to get technical fouls. I don't mind, especially when we're short a post player. And I know his teammates respect him for it. And it happened so quickly, and so I think our guys appreciate it. I do. I think the guys on the team appreciate it. But like I said, I just don't want it to get us at the wrong time when we really are playing with 3 of our start of the year 5 post players.
Last one.
Why'd you have a big smile on your face as Nate was walking off afterwards?
Just, I love the kid to death, because everything that you'd want in a player in your program to represent. And I know how hard he's worked. I know that, I don't have to read what I know people are probably saying about him early in the year and all that. I don't have to read it. And I will go back. The guy has been terrific. When you come out of high school, when you mostly have played, never really chasing guards around the court, learning how to play perimeter defense in this conference, and learning a whole different game. And I know how hard he works. I know how much it means to him, but he's so unselfish. He's such an unselfish person. He wants to win at the highest level, but he's got a lot of pride. He should, because he wants to be good. He wants to be the best with his God-given ability that he can be. And tonight, I could see that look that it was good, and just again, it was special. It really was, because he's earned it. He's earned it, and obviously the teammates. But he walked in and just had typical Nate smile, and went on to the next. I got on him about his 3 turnovers actually after the game, But he was terrific.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.